What's up? HonorHammer26 here. I'm here to give you my 7th Q&A. If you'd like to send me a Q&A question, please do not hesitate to do so. Go into my inbox, send me a personal message, and you can send as many questions as you want. Pro wrestling, sports, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm wearing my American Wolves t-shirt today. I'm in a good mood. It was my senior picture, and I wore an ROH t-shirt. So, let's get into the first question from BatelGuy1. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not sure if you noticed, but how come every time... Sorry, alright, let me start that over. I'm not sure if you noticed, but how come every time TNA brings in a former WWE talent like Kurt Angle, Eljiah Burke, etc., they usually come in as heels and one in a while as a face? Why is that? I think it's easier to get over as a heel than it is as a face. It's just easier to get heel heat, in my opinion, because there's so many gimmicks that can get you heel heat, but not that many that kind of can get you face heat. I mean, you're just kind of a sensible person to get you face heat, but they come in as heels because they're kind of coming from the opposition. I mean, that's kind of how TNA fans see it, and that's kind of the good way to do it. Like, Kurt Angle came in as a face, Booker T came in as a face, but they were both soon turned to heels, which is kind of the good way to do it. Kind of, yay, they're in our company, now we hate them, kind of a thing. So that's kind of I think that is the right way to do it, but I think they should start off right being heels, or be a face for a while, but don't like course correct every like couple months. That's just kind of stupid in my opinion. Again, from BatelGuy1, who is a better roster, PWG, ROH, or Chikara? In my opinion, it's Ring of Honor. I don't think this is even close. Ring of Honor kind of has access to other forms of talent, which makes them leaps and bounds better than Chikara and PWG. And I feel maybe without those access of talents, like if they didn't have access to Noah talents, or indie guys that come in for separate appearances, I think they still would have a better roster. I mean, they just have an excellent roster right now. That's one thing they've always kept up on. Not that saying that PWG or Chikara doesn't have a good roster, but I feel Ring of Honor just kind of has an all-around roster that can just wrestle. Chikara, outside of Mike Quackenbush, really doesn't have a excellent worker. I really can't think of anybody, actually. I mean, Player Dose is getting there, but he's not really all that. I mean, there's no full-time Chikara. Maybe Castagnoli, but there's no really full-time Chikara guy that's outside of Quackenbush that can just frickin' go. PWG, they have Chris Hero, they have Roderick Strong, but like... And they're getting there, but PWG is definitely getting better. This year has been great for them, and it's been great for Chikara and for Ring of Honor. It's been an awesome year for Indies, even though with them losing Brian and Nigel to the WWE. And next, third out of the four from BatelGuy1. Who do you think will be the next PWG World Champion? I feel it will be Scott Lost. I feel he is the best wrestler in PWG history, never to win the World Championship, and they're kind of giving him the push of life now. Just turned him face, against the grain, and this is kind of great booking, in my opinion. If you kind of give him, he has not won a Battle of Los Angeles, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure, but he just, it would mean so much for him to kind of just win this tournament and elevate him to the main event. I mean, he kind of hasn't been taken as a main eventer in PWG for a very long time now, so this is kind of the great way to kind of elevate him and have him go on a face run with the PWG World Championship. And because Hero lost the championship to Danielson, and then Danielson had to forfeit it, I think it'd be very stupid if Hero did not turn heel now, or go on a massive heel turn, because like it makes sense, like, why did he lose the title in the first place? You kind of have to make a sense of that. Final question from BatelGuy1. Is there any former WWE talent on the indie circuit, rather it's in Japan, Mexico, Europe, or United States, that would you like to see them in PWG, ROH, or TNA? A definite guy that I'd like to see in PWG, or there haven't been that much, like, there's never been a Noah guy in PWG. I've kind of wanted to see that for a little while now, like how a Noah guy would get over in LA. If Kenta went to PWG for a weekend, there's kind of an interest there. I've never seen it, so maybe. I mean, there's a lot of guys I'd like to see necessarily in ROH, because kind of get to show what they can do. TNA is probably not interested in a ton of those guys. PWG probably doesn't have the money to kind of go out and get those guys, so Ring of Honor would probably be the best place to get them. So ROH, maybe there's a guy, maybe, well, before Eljiah Burke went to TNA, I would have loved to see him in Ring of Honor. I wouldn't mind giving Val Venus a chance. I mean, he's still kind of iffy on that. But, I mean, a lot of WWE guys kind of have trouble going when they go elsewhere. I personally would love to see Too Cold Scorpio in ROH. I've been a huge fan of his for a very long time, so I'd like to see him as a full-timer in ROH. Alright, Sanders Robin 24, first question. Alright, on the Basketball Hall of Fame, Michael Jordan. Did you ever get a chance to see some of the vintage Jordan games on the ESPN Classic? And if so, what are your thoughts on him? A lot of journalists thought he came off too cocky during his speech at the Hall of Fame. Did you see it, and what are your thoughts on it? I did see his speech at the Hall of Fame. I thought, I mean, it's Michael Jordan. He can be cocky. I mean, he's the greatest NBA player of all time, in my opinion. But I think that maybe he should have turned it down a little bit. Yeah, he can be a little cocky because that's going to be in the ego. He has to have an ego to be as good as he was in the NBA. But he is still the greatest basketball player of all time, and they need to respect him for who he is, and that's it. So, Michael Jordan, I did see some of his vintage games. He was a Washington Wizard played on my favorite team as a Washington Wizard for, I think, 3 years or 2 years. So I did get to see him live once as a Wizard, so that was really cool. But I did get to see some of his vintage games, even though, not really vintage, even though they're in the 90s, but I was born in 92, so. I have seen them. I thought the lineup of him, Rodman, Pippen, Steve Blake, and who's their center? Jesus. I can't remember his name, but whoever it was. They were just a very dynamic lineup, and I loved watching them play. It's kind of the same reason I like watching the Washington Capitals of now play so many great, exciting young guys. Alright, the wrestling question from Sanders Robin 24. Do you see a Chris Hero face turn in the future? Can you see him as a successful Ring of Honor champion in the future? I think the face turn should definitely come first if he's going to hold the Ring of Honor World title. He's going to be kind of going into the upper echelon of Ring of Honor now. I think he should do it as the face. Maybe Final Battle 09, have him turn on Davey and Eddie Edwards, kind of have him go as a face and get away from Shane Hagedorn, because I think that's kind of holding him back in parts. Just kind of him be the PWG of early 2009 Chris Hero, with putting on just great matches after great match. I mean, it's a good match, it's good to great matches, then get into having the great matches. So, I mean, his match with Colt Cabana at PWG 100 was great. His match with... I haven't seen that match yet, so I really can't rate that, but I heard his match with Bryan Danielson at Guerre Sans Frontieres was really, really good, so we'll see that. I mean, he's a great performer. He has mic skills. He has in-ring. He has a lot of talent, and I think he could definitely be a good Ring of Honor World Champion, but there's kind of guys in the line that deserve it more than him, so he just has to kind of wait. First one, the Scat Man. Who should be the next ROH World Champion in your opinion? Chris Hero, Davey Richards, Roderick Strong, Tyler Black, or other. I kind of just said that. Chris Hero, those are the 3 guys in the line that I think should be before Chris Hero. It's kind of looking like Tyler Black and Roderick Strong are going to be one of the 2 to be seat Austin Aries. I think it's going to be Tyler Black to be the one to beat Austin Aries, and that would be a very, very good move in my opinion. His Ring of Honor contract does run out September of 2010, and I feel the WWE is going to go after him as soon as that happens. So I feel they kind of got to give him his good title reign now and wait on Davey Richards until have Davey Richards be the one to beat Tyler Black. I've said this on here many times, but Davey Richards be the one to beat Black, because then they're just seeing and he's a great force. I mean, yeah, that Davey Richards is kind of going to be the one. That would be so great, Richards and Aries, but kind of need to have a face go over Aries in my opinion. Even though it would be kind of fresh to see Richards Aries, I kind of think there needs to be a face going over him, and need to have Roderick beat Davey. But Roderick needs to kind of have a manager on him to be world champion, since his promos are kind of lacking. Next from the Scatman, if you could bring into ROH 1 singles worker and 1 tag team from PWG and Chikara that have not made appearances before, who would you choose and who would you match them up with? Okay, a tag team from Chikara, I definitely would like to see maybe Fire Ant and Soldier Ant, now that they are the Campeones de Parejas. I can definitely see them working with a lot of guys in Ring of Honor that are good. The Briscoes, Dina Generico, the Young Bucks. I think the Colony is a great stable, and if Ring of Honor brings out the Trios tournament, I think that would be a good stage for them to kind of make their debut. Singles wrestler Scott Lost, I'm a big fan of his, and he's going to probably be the PWG World Champion coming up, so I definitely think that he would be good in ROH, and now that Joey Ryan's in ROH, that he can kind of get in people's ears saying, get this guy in ROH. Maybe a tag team, another tag team. No, that's pretty much it. I really can't think of anything right now. Maybe Ultramantis Black, I'm a big fan of his. So, there's that. That'll be my final question for the day. Send me Q&A questions, I'll see you guys later.